This is Adamantly Analog, episode 78, Gaming Gratitude, where we share everything we are thankful for about board games.
Hello and welcome to Adamantly Analog, episode 78. I'm Corey.
Hey, and I'm Harrison.
And we're the only podcast that is grateful. No, that can't be true, can it?
Yeah, it is true, actually. I read that on Wikipedia today.
We're going to acknowledge how grateful we are because today is Gaming Gratitude in the spirit of Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, I've got Thanksgiving this week if you're listening to this as the week that it comes out.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be thankful for. And I think we're not just talking about the games we're thankful for. These are going to be games, people, experiences, producers, publishers, etc., that we're thankful for.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. And speaking of, it's been a little bit of everything around here these days. What's your life like, Harrison?
Well, if you can't tell, my voice sounds a little bit hoarse because I'm just coming back from Protospiel Madison.
I was gonna say they only mean one thing.
Yep, exactly. A convention. In fact, our very savvy listeners might recognize that last week's episode, my intro voice was just wrecked because turns out we had a little bit of scheduling snafu, and I edited that thing after I was at Protospiel for, I would see probably 30 plus hours over the weekend. So my voice was wrecked.
Well, you managed to squeeze out that one more half a sentence that night for the intro. But
Yep,
yeah, you just sound a little strung out.
You should have seen the takes. I could not speak.
God. Well, thank you for doing that, Harrison. I thought it turned out to be a gem last week when we talked about, what did we talk about? Our gift guide, our holiday gift guide. That's always a fun one.
Yeah, it's nice to talk about that. We got a chance to share those wonderful gift recommendations that are not games. Well, 5 out of 6 of them weren't games. Maybe next year we'll go for all non-games.
Yeah. Well, it gave me some ideas because I'm doing some gift shopping. And speaking of, okay, so I think I talked about this on a previous podcast. My nieces, who are 5 and 3, made me a board game for my birthday. It was like the cutest thing.
Oh, nice.
This big, very colorful board. It was like a Chutes and Ladders kind of game. They even made the die out of paper and like little meeples out of little little plastic bubbles you get the toys in from the vending machines. They filled them with stuff. And the game was rigged. I mean, you land on a bridge and you go halfway across the darn map, and Nikki crushed us. It wasn't even fair. But that's not the point. I mean, a 5-year-old designed it.
She's so good at games.
Yeah. So I made them a board game for Christmas, and I had to get on it early because I'm doing it through the Game Crafter in Madison. And they're backed up. Game Crafter is like a month out, but it did just ship. It's coming in time. But my game, in the spirit of Kingdom Death Monster, is Magical Lands Unicorn.
Yeah.
And so I'm like on Photoshop designing this elaborate board where you go around the board, you pick up all the unicorns, and you go to the castle, and you win if you've collected all the unicorns. If you really look into it, it kind of seems like we're capturing these animals, but you're just collecting them. They're like Pokemon.
Can't wait to see the photos.
Yeah, they're all in it. So I had to like Photoshop little crowns on their heads and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyways, let's hear about Protospiel. I think people don't care so much about Magical Lands Unicorn and probably want to hear about your experiences with the playtesting and I don't know, checking out other people's playtest games.
I don't know. You might be surprised that we could have a whole new podcast on our hands here. Adamantly Unicorn Lands. Yeah. Unanimously Unicorn Lands. There we go.
Good.
Okay. Yeah. So Protospiel Madison. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where a bunch of designers get together and play test their games. And that's everyone from established designers like we had Stan was there, previous guest of the podcast. I was there. My boss, Keith Mateka and Kane Klenko and bunch of established designers, and then a bunch of people that have never designed games before or have been doing it for years as a hobby, just do it for fun, played several games, and I asked them, I was like, "Hey, what's your goal for this game?" They're like, "We just want to make a cool game for us and our friends and our family." Perfect. So like it is for everyone. And if you don't even want to bring a game, you get a much lower entry fee to just go play test people's games, and you're often pleasantly surprised with the crazy stuff that people come up with. So like
Yeah, man.
a couple call outs. I got to play a game with Adam Rayberg from Adam's Apple Games. He's got a new one coming out in July that I got to play test, and it's got
Cool.
a super unique component. I don't want to talk about the name of it because he's like dead set on publishing it, and the way he was talking about it sounds like they haven't announced it yet. But when it gets announced or when it comes out, I'll be sure to call it out because it was very memorable, and I cannot wait to share it with friends and family.
What state was this in? Is this, like, early on index card kind of paper scribbles kinda deal or what?
Nearing final
Okay.
production. Yeah. There's it's cards and a unique component that I cannot talk about. Otherwise, it would
Yeah, yeah,
give away
right.
the game. But yeah, it is. It's a cool like party co-op game.
But to kinda just set the table for this, you are seeing stuff that is in varying degrees of completeness, right? You're
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff is, like, actually, like, the very first draft of a game, right?
Yep. Yeah. Some people will bring. This was printer paper and card sleeves for the cards. Other
Mhm,
people just had cards written on scraps of paper, handwritten. Others like myself, I have like production levels or game crafter printing versions of some of the games that I was testing,
mhm.
and it's the whole range. Generally, like the more complete looking a product is, the less likely people are to give feedback on it. So it's all about finding that happy middle ground of usability uh, versus like completeness.
Do you think that you're more likely to get people that wanna try it if it's more complete or
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's a fine balance, but the structure of Protospiel is that you go and you play a game with a group of designers, and then you play all of each other's games. So you end up spending most of the day, better part of a day, with the same group of people, and you get a chance to play everyone's. So oftentimes when you sit down at the table, you don't know the next game you're going to play or even what it looks like. So that can help get over that hump too.
Okay, and then, I mean, you don't sign up and schedule games throughout the day like you would at a convention normally. You just sit down and hope to find a group to play with?
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty freeform.
Okay.
Generally, if you just walk in and set up your own stuff, you're gonna have a little more trouble finding people. I generally recommend finding a group of people who have already set up, joining
Mhm.
them, and then asking to play your game after that. Which
Gotcha.
is, yeah, usually the way to go. So, I want to call out a couple other just
Yeah, go
absolutely
ahead.
delightful, fun games. There was one called Gay Hookup Game. That was it was a stack of cards that were just pictures of emojis that represented sending different types of illicit photos to guys on a fictional version of Grinder, and then you had to send those to collect their point cards or rack up
Yep.
body count as it was, and it was I the most fun I've had in like a party style game in a very long time. It felt like pretty standard hobby game stuff. You're doing like a set collection element to score these character cards, but then there were
Mhm.
lots of just like random take that action cards too, almost like a Munchkin thing. So that was a lot of fun. I played a two-player sword dueling game made by a local guy. It's like all swashbuckling. You're fighting over each other's honor. The player who loses has lost their honor, and the whole thing is called Touche, the art du poke, the art of the poke. And you basically just have to score 2 poke points by stabbing them twice and dishonoring them. That one's been a lot of fun. I actually was able to grab an extra copy of him and just like try it out because he's local, so I can get it back to him easy.
Mhm.
It's cool stuff. And Year of the Yokai was one of those games that they just want to make it for fun because they want something cool to play with their friends and family. And it was this asymmetrical deck battle royale with all of this fantastical Japanese mythology art. So you played like one of these mythological yokai monster things. There was a tanuki, and I played a haunted lantern thing that I don't remember what it's called, and somebody else played a spider, and uh, there was a kitsune. And you have asymmetrical decks with crazy wild powers, and there were 12 of these different characters that they had to like brewed up and made custom decks for. So it was like this huge, high replayability, crazy experience. But they just wanted to do it for their friends and family, and they were bringing it to Protospiel to just kind of refine that experience for them, which was great. So
Nice.
lots of enjoyable games.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, good
And
time.
I'm looking forward to joining you for one of these in Minneapolis soon. And I'm bummed I missed the last one. I was in the play at school. I mentioned on a previous podcast, so that was a great experience too. But I was looking forward to this, and I'll have to just build the suspense on because there's another one coming up in a month or so, right? 2 months.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get to one in January, and if you've never checked one of these out before, we'll put a link to Protospiel in general in the show notes so you can learn more about it and maybe find one in your area.
And if you're there and you want to play test a game, we'll both have some. Come find us.
Hopefully. Oh, what about you, Corey? You been playing anything new recently, or anything you'd like to shout out?
Not too much. I did get a this is kind of funny. I accidentally got a copy of Things and Rings because I had to like put it in an Amazon cart and then Nikki bought something else and didn't realize it was in there, so it just like showed up at the house one day.
Whoop,
I'm not
whoopsies.
upset about it though. I like that game. I still haven't played the co-op version of it, but the competitive version of it has got to be worse. And I like I said, I like the game, but I think it can only improve with the kind of collaboration going on.
Yeah, for sure.
We've talked about Things and Rings before, but just in a nutshell, it is a Venn diagram deduction game, whereas different circles in the Venn diagram represent different ways of looking at the words. For example, the context or one of them has to do with like the spelling of the word, like how many O's or something it has. But the descriptors that belong to those things are hidden to everyone else but the knower. And the knower is placing cards down to kind of like start things off. For example, like a hair dryer, right? You can put the hair dryer in the applicable circles, like say if the context is something in the household, but you're kind of just like trying to infer what the meanings of everything are by the similarities between the objects that are showing up in those circles.
Hmm.
It's a little abstract at first, but it once you get into it, it's kind of fun to sort of figure it out as you go. So I almost prefer to just throw people into it and say, don't ask too many questions. Just go with it and it'll make sense.
You feel so clever when you figure it out too.
You
That's one of
do.
the best parts about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The
It,
co-op version's very good.
is it okay? Cool. I would expect so. It is a little different the way that works because there's kind of more like a time limit on it, which there has to be.
Hmm. Yeah.
But the co-op or the competitive version, I should say, it feels kind of odd because people are thinking so hard about it that they're just doing it silently for a lot of the game. And it is
Hmm.
very much not a party game in that way. It's almost like too competitive. So yeah, I think it'd be more fun to talk about it with everyone. But yeah, good little game. I love the all play games in these tiny little boxes. It's sort of an awesome design because they really squeeze a lot in there. But you could probably fit about 20 of these in one Calyx shelf if you really wanted to.
Oh yeah, and it would be a nightmare to get any one of them out.
Yeah, that's right. But you gotta make things work sometimes.
Well, let's go be thankful.
Yeah, shall we move on to our feature topic? Yeah,
Yep,
let's go be
let's do it.
thankful. So we're going to share a list of things we have gratitude for, gaming gratitude, games, people, and experiences we're thankful for. And the first player rule is the player to most recently be injured in one-on-one combat.
Yeah.
What?
That was the first player rule from the Touche or the Poke uh,
Oh,
for the advanced drafting version because the game simultaneous play normally. But yeah, I thought when I read that I literally laughed out loud because it's such a unique first player rule. So when was the last time
yeah.
you were injured in one-on-one combat, Corey?
Oh my God. I don't even know if I can think of a situation that is close to that. I haven't been in one-on-one combat in a while, thankfully.
In college, when I lived in that house with 10 people, you know the one. Uh,
Yeah.
my friend, one of my roommates, was taking kickboxing and I was taking kendo. So we decided one day after a, a few college boy behaviors like drinking, that we should fight each other, kendo versus kickboxing.
Oh wow,
Um,
cool.
and so I got my sword arm kicked into the side of the house, and that hurt, and that like I got all scraped up. So,
Wow. And then it ended, or did you guys keep going?
oh
Did you
yeah,
fight to the
no, 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 no. It was like one blow, and we're like, oh, this is a terrible idea. We've not drank nearly enough for this.
All right, well, I think you win. I wish I had a good story for you here, but I just don't. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Happy to go first and share that embarrassing story for all to hear.
Mhm.
All right, my first pick. I'm gonna go with the classic here, and I attribute this game, even though not really a board game, but we still talk about it, and it's Magic the Gathering. I cannot be more thankful for Magic the Gathering to exist in my life. It has been, I think it's been at the core of like everything that makes me interested in games, whether it is the modular build your own deck nature of Magic kind of like leading me towards the path of board game design, or the social aspects of kitchen table Magic and Friday night Magic leading me down to just enjoying playing board games with people at a table. um there's so many things about it that I just like. I can trace so many pieces of my life back to playing Magic with someone. And that comes down to like networking too. That's how I met you, playing Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
A friend took me to a Magic the Gathering group at Liz Waters, and that's where I met you and everyone else there. And I got my very first job at a GameStop in high school by somebody who played Magic. Was like, hey, we can get you in here. Same thing with like one of my favorite jobs in college. It was a recommendation from a fellow Magic player, and uh, getting my first job after college as a waiter and busboy and bartender was through Magic the Gathering. So that is it has been a mainstay of my life that I haven't touched in like 10 years, but it's where I am. So I'm thankful that it's there, even if the game form that it is today is so very different.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah, I'd have to ditto that one for all the same reasons. I mean, that's a good one to start with, Harrison, because
Right?
it is kind of like the gateway drug to all of this other board gaming that we got into. But also
Yeah.
the nucleus of a lot of friend groups back in college and in high school, and I don't know, it's been there like throughout most of our life at this point. It's kind of crazy to think, but I started playing it in like middle school. And just like stuck with it ever since. I wouldn't say I'm
Mhm.
still a Magic the Gathering player, but it's still out there, and I'd be happy to like pick up a deck anytime or play someone's cube or something.
Right, exactly. Yeah. We got some birthdays coming up. We gotta talk to John about having a little birthday bash again. Hopefully my basement doesn't flood.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that is frequently the centerpiece of those kind of gatherings in November, isn't it? So we're
Yep.
we're, we're due
Yeah.
for one.
So
Cool.
that is my number one pick. I'm super thankful for Magic the Gathering.
That's awesome. So yeah, my Magic the Gathering experience went from casual like building random decks and finding the combos with friends, and they were probably crap decks, but at the time they were the best thing in the world, to being like a highly competitive tournament player where we're spending 12 hours a day just grinding out games and trying to get day 2 and maybe take home some money. And so that really pushed this really highly competitive thought process in gaming, and I found it fun. I know for some people it kind of takes the fun out of it and the joy out of it, but that sort of led to then I was very like strategic minded when it came to board games too. But this is all to say that my number one is Reiner Knizia. And Reiner Knizia, it has kind of, I mean, obviously this is an acclaimed designer of a bazillion games out there, and his hook is that all of those games are all pretty simplistic and really focused on like one mechanic that's just refined to a T. For the most part, some of them are a little
Oh
more
yeah.
complicated than others, but everything is pretty approachable and pretty light. And I'm thankful that there are so many great games from this designer, but also that there's so many accessible games that don't force you to be incredibly competitive with one another. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's just like an enjoyment of the systems that he creates and the worlds that he designs inside. Um, I think at this stage in my gaming collection, I am not looking for big and heavy games to play with my friends. I'm looking for fun and satisfying games that are easy to teach, and you can never go wrong with some Dr. Reiner Knizia.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm looking at his Board Game Geek page right now, and he's got over 800 credits as a designer.
Yeah, that's
And I bet
crazy.
you could use a random number generator and pick any one of those out of the list and have a great time.
Yeah. He's putting a new one out like once a month. He's just got like a backlog of designs. But then on top of that, so many of his previous ones are being reincarnated with like new production or updated rules. Um, and I think it's a new way to discover some great classics out there that maybe just needed a little extra refinement and are now like, maybe not just a more approachable theme, but maybe a more palatable theme in some cases too, for avoiding some like colonization stuff.
Right, right.
I don't think he has too terribly much of that, but there's some out there.
Yeah, Rainer Knizia is definitely one of the most prolific, one of the most impactful, and I know many, many people that are just in love with anything that he does, that are just excited to try another Rainer Knizia game and see the magic of that specific game distilled to its purest form.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good pick. I too am thankful for Rainer Knizia, or should we say
Good, good.
Dr. Rainer Knizia.
Dr. Reiner. Is he really a doctor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
doctor in mathematics.
Is he? Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Oh, earned a PhD in mathematics. Okay. Cool. And
Yep.
was worked in the banking industry. Okay.
All right. Well, are we ready for the number twos?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. All right. So my second pick is a game company that I'm going to go with. So a little more focused than a prolific designer like Rainer Knizia. But this is Direwolf, or Direwolf Digital, as I knew them when I started, or when I first heard of them and knew of them. So Direwolf is today known for classics like Clank and Dune Imperium, the recent Lightning Train, and I first met them in, I think, oh, well, I can actually look at my board right now. Yep, in 2016. My friends and I, again, who I met through Magic, wanted to go to Penny Arcade Expo in Boston, and we had gone 3 years before, but this year I didn't have the funds to like justify flying out there and getting a hotel and everything. So a friend said, "Hey, actually, I sometimes volunteer for some companies. They know someone who's looking for volunteers if you're going to be there and you have your own hotel, and or if you can get out there, then they'll put you in a hotel and you can work for them." And that company turned out to be Direwolf, and I helped them teach their demo their video game that they were working on at the time, this digital card game called Eternal, which I think is still going on today. It's not available on Steam, but it's like
Oh
a
yeah. I played that for a
Magic the
while.
Gathering adjacent. Yeah, like a Magic the Gathering adjacent type game that really enhances and uses the digital space. I thought it was
Mhm.
an awesome game, but that relationship was just game changing for me. I ended up getting along really, really well with the head of marketing, Matt Hudson, and he still works there. I was emailing him this week about just random convention stuff because we're still friends, and
Hmm.
they invited me back, and I continued to demo for them at conventions right up until the start of the pandemic. So I was there when they first introduced Clank, and I was teaching Clank to people and some other games, and it was it was a wonderful time. And so I associate Direwolf with not only like my introduction to the inside facing portion of like board games and video games to that extent, but also really understanding and learning about my love of teaching people how to play games. I really value the ability for someone to demo and teach a game well, and I got to hone that skill just going to a convention and pitching and teaching the same game over and over and over and over. We did
Mhm.
PAX East, PAX West, PAX South when that was still a thing in San Antonio, and Gen Con. So I racked up, I think, about 12 shows with them, 15 shows with them before the end of it. It was a good time. So I think I would not be where I am without Direwolf, and that was even after the pandemic when we didn't reconnect, and that kind of pushed me to reach out to Thunderworks and meet them. So I am ever grateful and ever thankful for Direwolf and that team and all those wonderful people.
And I am secondhand thankful for Direwolf because because I think through it, Harrison, you exposed me to great games like Clank and all of its many Clank spin-offs.
Oh yeah,
But they
the
have a lot of
Clankiverse,
great
if you
stuff.
will.
Clankiverse, yeah. Yeah. I went to play test some Direwolf games at Gen Con. They had some cool things coming out. I was doing the Invincible game, but
Oh
it seems
yeah,
like a really good crew over there and always neat ideas, many of which involve some kind of element of like deck building and bag building. There's a lot of that going on, and that's always fun.
cool. So that is my my number 2 pick, Direwolf, the game publisher.
All right, my number 2 pick, and this one sounds kind of lame when I say it out loud, but I have a good reason for it, and that is Facebook Marketplace. And hey, I'm not going to link this one. I don't think we need to link Facebook Marketplace in the show notes, but you can find it yourself if you care. Um, this is the means by which I acquire and sell a lot of used games. And like I've said many times on the podcast, there's so many out there. Like people have huge collections they're trying to get rid of, and you don't always have to play the newest thing that came out. Take like 5 minutes to look for it on Facebook Marketplace, and you might be surprised at what kinds of deals you can get for it. On top of that, most communities have their own board game trading pages. Wisconsin Board Game Trading and Selling is one that I frequent myself, but put in your town or your state board game trading and selling, and you'll find many, even more local ones like to a city. Um, but through that, I've met some folks because, funny story, I sold a game to someone locally. And when I met her, she said, "Oh, you should join our Discord group." And I did. And I joined the Mage Discord group, which is the Milwaukee Board Gamers. And it is a uh, very busy community that's always doing things locally, going to all the meetups and things like that. And we've made some good friends through it. So one like kind of chance encounter through a sale of it was actually Resurgence that I was selling at the time. Ended up meeting someone and making some good friends kind of like down the line from that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree that like especially getting into the hobby, Facebook Marketplace was just an incredible resource, and also like money pit, right? Because you're just like, oh man,
Yeah.
that another great deal. I can't believe it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
This is a super cool thing.
Yeah, but too, like with that, it's an opportunity to sell games. So I think you need to make them fluid, and this is the means by which you can do so easily because it's hard to ship things across the uh across the country, and still make money on the game.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. I stopped doing board game geek game trades just because I thought they were a deal, and then I realized I was spending 10, 15, $20 on shipping because apparently people in California have all the best games, and that's a little bit more of a shipping price for us folks in
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
really.
Although I kind of want to go back on there, but I haven't. I logged into Facebook for the first time in 7 weeks yesterday,
Hmm.
so I don't. It's kind of scary. I don't want to go through all those notifications.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It's not a great place for other reasons, but for this exact purpose, I would recommend it.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's yeah. Even with the drawbacks, it's still something to be thankful for because it does enable so many people to connect and share the goods of board games. There's so many out there. My number 3 pick is something that we've actually already talked about on this very episode because I am thankful for Protospiel and just the Protospiel system in general. You can they run them all over the place. The ones that I go to are Madison. There used to be one in Milwaukee that has closed down, maybe temporarily. Maybe someone will come back and do it again. There's 2 in Minneapolis. There's one in Chicago. I'm considering going to one in Columbus and Indianapolis, I believe. I think there's a couple more. So there's tons of them out there, and the Protospiel community is just so welcoming. And if you talk to anybody who goes to all these, like the number one thing that they always say is their favorite part is the community. It is seeing these friendly faces, seeing all of these designers, their different ideas, exchanging ideas, improving upon them, and then seeing your friends and this community succeed when somebody gets a game signed or somebody gets recognition gets that big hit, or even just gets their first game published. Like they self-publish it on the Game Crafter, and now you're like, hey, I can go buy your thing. This is super cool. It's an incredible community, and through it, I've been able to grow as a designer, been able to network a ton, and I I believe the first time I met Kane Klinko was through Protospiel, and I had gone to them like before meeting up with Thunderworks people, and so when I started hanging out with him more because he's friends with Keith, the owner, it was nice to have that familiar face in there too. So it really is just like a fantastic community. I cannot reiterate enough. Go to a Protospiel. Corey, go to a Protospiel.
I'm trying, Harrison. I'm trying. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant to call out earlier that you asked about the format of it. It's pretty free form, but there is another type of prototype convention that's more structured called Unpub. Unpub usually has like a much stronger presence at like Gen Con and PAX Unplugged and things. And Unpub lets you you pay for a table, you pay for time slots, and then they will get separate playtesters to come in and play your game. So you get a lot more focused feedback, but there is a little more structure and upfront money involved in that too. But if that's
Hmm.
more your style, you can also check that out.
Okay. Yeah, I think I will.
So I am thankful for Protospiel.
Yeah, I was gonna add something about being thankful for like our local cons and the organizers of those, but I think you kind of covered it with Protospiel. I know it's a different environment, but just to kind of piggyback on that, I think that's a big part of what makes this stuff great is the community surrounding it. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
like I've said before, I love going to our cons in this state because it's the same core group of like a few hundred people that show up to all of those things, and so every few months it's like a big gathering where you get together with everyone and kind of check in on what their life is like and what new games they're excited for, and just sharing a common passion that y'all have. It's good stuff.
At the last Protospiel, I got to catch up with a friend that I haven't seen in a while, and it was super nice. And I found out that he's the designer. He got one of his designs signed, and it's the next game from Kinson Keys. So the follow up to
Oh
Galactic
wow,
Cruise is his game.
that's
It
all.
is a yeah. It's if you go to their Discord, they're openly playtesting. It's called Menuman, and I
Hmm.
think it's about Ojibwe rice farming. So it's a very different theme from Galactic Cruise. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
really excited for it. Yeah.
All right, so my number 3 is Board Game Arena. This one seems kinda like a cop out, but, it's
No,
it's
not at
so
all.
so obviously a good way to connect with people that are distant from you, and it really got us through the pandemic big time because we had a regular group that met every Wednesday for a while, then it became, like, Sundays. We were playing some D&D over Discord, which I could just as well include Discord as the kinda connecting tissue here, but this quickly evolved into a board game arena day because our campaign ended, and we kept it going for years. We're still going. Today we've been a little inconsistent lately, but it's a good way to just like stay in touch with folks and have a little activity to do while we do that. And so it would work where I had the premium account and I would host a game. And every time we got on the call, it was like, "What are we gonna do today?" We're like, "Just hop in here. I'll teach you a game." We'd find something easy on Board Game Arena to play. And so we played through a lot of the stuff on there, and it felt like every time we were meeting, we were learning something new. But I don't know. That's how I like to do it.
Yeah, there's there's so many things to be grateful for real, and this is no
Yeah.
different. I Board Game Arena got me through the pandemic, kept me up on gaming through that, and helped me kind of get more comfortable around my coworkers at my old job because I hosted a weekly Board Game Arena meeting for the team, so anyone could join and learn how to play a game, and that usually meant learning how to play Six Nimped. But
Mhm.
you know, that's good too.
I still don't know how to play Six Named, so you're gonna have to teach me one day.
Yeah, so we played so much Six Nymphs and Take Five, and now they've even re-released it with like a brand new theme called Beat the Heat, and I think that's a Hasbro version. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amiga and Hasbro. Yeah, that's right. Because Amigo is kind of Amigo North America is kind of shutting down and is getting other distribution partners in the US. So yeah, Beat the
Hmm.
Heat is a nice, colorful new version of Take Five that you can go check out, and it should be widely available.
Yeah, I'm seeing it on Amazon right now. It it's more just cards and numbers. So, new
My
publisher,
bread
but
and butter.
still just cards and numbers, yeah. But, yeah, if you say so, I'll try this game. Yeah, last thing I wanna add about the whole BGA experience here is that this is a good opportunity to stay in touch with people and engage in this while you are busy because, the turn-based allows for, in my case, some very slow gaming. And when things get, like, really crazy at work and I don't see, like, Nikki very often, or if I don't have time to, like, get together with my friends, we can still run a turn-based game in the background, even something
Mhm.
with a high complexity level. I just often forget what the heck it is that I'm doing, so, better off with something easy. I'm open to a galactic cruise, while I've got a hell week going on at work.
Yeah, send the invitation. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you played that now, so now we can do it. Yeah.
Technically true. Just did the tutorial. That's another good thing about Board Game Arena now is now that it's gotten so much bigger and so many more games on it, they're starting to do lots of like learn to plays that you can actually click through and move the pieces and do the actions, so you get a much better teach of the game. I think the
Oh, yeah.
Galactic Cruise one was 185 steps, so like it was a little lengthy, but it's there,
Uh,
which is nice.
yeah.
If you don't like watching videos because you zone out or you learn better by doing, this could be a big help.
Yeah, man. Okay, so do you wanna recap our list?
Oh yeah, I would love to be thankful for this list.
Yeah.
So I was thankful, and still am thankful for Magic the Gathering, Dire Wolf, the board game publisher, and Protospiel. And Corey is thankful for Reiner Knizia, the Good Doctor, Facebook Marketplace, and BoardGameArena.com.
Sounds weird when you say it, Facebook Marketplace, but I think I explained it pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, you did. Yeah, getting Board Game Arena getting some love 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, man. That's good stuff. Hey, thanks for recapping that list.
Thank you, Corey, for asking me to do this podcast in the first place.
Oh, thanks for doing it, Harrison.
Oh, Corey, thanks for thanking me.
Alright, well, that brings us to the end. Um, I have been busy with this play and all sorts of things going on in my life outside of anything fun. So I'm sorry I don't have too much to report for our outro aside from I saw a random movie on Monday, and I don't know if you know about the Marcus movie theaters mystery movie night that they do on Mondays, but you can buy a
I'm sorry,
ticket to
what?
a yet yeah, you can buy a ticket for a movie that hasn't been released yet, and you don't know what it is. It's a mystery movie. So when you sit down, you watch the trailers, and then all of a sudden the movie plays, and you either like it or you hate it, and you don't know beforehand. And so we
Like,
saw,
this is so weird. Go on, sorry.
yeah, we saw the movie Sisu, which has been advertised extensively to me on Facebook, so I was kind of aware of it. Have you seen ads for this?
No, I don't know what this is.
It's a sequel, believe it or not. It is a sequel to I think it's a Finnish movie, but it is a guy that's just like this tough dude that is like post-war era, trying to exact revenge on Soviet soldiers as he's like crossing the border to get his basically the lumber from his house where he, had a family before they were killed in the war. It is incredibly violent. It was overly violent, and there was almost no dialogue in it. Like, I don't think the main character had a single word of dialogue in the movie,
Oh, really?
but it is like unbelievably brutal and bloody. And I mean, we knew this going in. It was a mystery movie, but they tell you it's rated R, so you don't accidentally bring your kids to something like this. But
Right.
I I don't know if I can say it was good. It was definitely something different. Put it that way.
Hmm. That's fascinating. I don't think I would be willing to roll the dice on 2.5 to 3 hours in a theater on a movie that I don't know that I'm gonna like. But
Yeah.
I certainly would have when I was in college, because I fancied myself a film buff.
Well, it's pretty well attended, so there are a lot of people that were willing to
Oh,
take the
cool.
chance on it. So, anyways, yeah, we did that on Monday. How about you? What have you been up to?
So Lauren and I we finally got around to watching most of Peacemaker season 2. We decided to rewatch Peacemaker season 1 because we really enjoyed that. You know, it's the DC anti-hero character TV show written by James Gunn,
Mhm.
and we just season 1 is just so spectacular. It is excellent dialogue, great characters, everything like that. Have you seen this show?
Yes,
Okay.
I have.
Have you
I've seen
seen season
just
2?
so I don't think I watched season 2 yet because I keep going back to season 1 thinking I've never seen it before. So I've watched the first couple episodes multiple times.
Okay. Season 2, we're not done with it. So far doesn't feel like it quite has the same magic, but there's still some excellent moments in it that make it worth the time to go through, including there's a gag about a character, and if I guess if you consider this a spoiler, skip ahead like 30 seconds, but there's a gag with a character where he says he has bird blindness, where he cannot tell he cannot tell birds apart, and so he keeps on referring to the main character's pet eagle as various birds, like a parrot and a duck, and it is
Okay.
the stupidest joke ever, and it gets me every time.
Nice.
Like I got attacked by a duck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we've been doing.
Speaking of bird jokes, I like that his eagle's name is Eagly in that show.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. Also incredibly graphic, very, very violent, and
Yeah.
then also like lots of nudity too. So yeah, don't this is a superhero show that you don't want to share with your kids.
All right, Harrison. Well, I think that takes us to the end, but we got a big one next week. What are we doing?
We are starting 2025's top 50 countdown. So
Yes,
last
I
year we
love
did
this.
oh, I know you do, Corey. Yeah, last year we did our top 50 recap. We talked about our top 50 games of the last 50 years, and
Mhm.
this time we're gonna do the top 50 games of the past 50 years as well. Probably because I haven't
Yeah,
played any games that
basically.
came out before the past 50
Yeah.
years.
We're loosening restrictions a little bit, but it's gonna be the same list probably.
Well, the lots of new stuff, especially on my end, because I made the mistake last year of forgetting to add everything that I had played in 2024 to the list. So before I did the big old sorting method, and by the time I figured it out, I was like, I'm not redoing that again. So we used the old Pub Meeple rankings, which I did a 2-tier method this time. So I imported my entire play history from Board Game Geek because I've got that hooked up to the BG Stats app. And
Uh-huh.
then I manually went through, it was like 600 different games that I've played since I started tracking. And I went through and I just removed games from the list that I didn't remember playing or I had no
Yeah.
interest in, like that wouldn't have a chance of being in my top 50. I took it out. And so I ended up rating only 300 games instead of 600. So that felt better. You should do that if you haven't done it already.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through. Basically, there's a little trash can button and you can delete them as they show up and you're like, I don't want to keep seeing this one.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong, my list is gonna be quite different than last year. I think it's changed a lot. So, um, yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing that. Well, we'll start that next week, and we're gonna count down 10 more every week until we hit number 1, which will bring us into the new year. And, yeah, I think this is an annual tradition now. So you know, uh, don't write this down or anything, but you can look forward to doing this again in December of 2026 too.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, Corey. We gotta get to 2026 before we can start planning our end of 2026 celebrations.
That's true. Well, just imagine what great games will be out by then.
Oh, I can't wait. There's some cool stuff coming out.
Oh, man. All right, I
All right,
got some
we're
good ones
rambling.
coming. All right,
Bye,
anyways, talk to you
everyone.
later.
Bye,
See ya.
Corey. Drink water. Adamantly Analog is Corey Murphy and Harrison Dunn. Original music and bumpers by Corey Murphy. To learn more, reach out to us at adamantlyanalog@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.